Okay, we're back for game one. Looking at this, I really want to play Nexus Pilot. It is one of our best creatures at all levels. I could see either Scythian Augmentation or Nargath Bruiser with it. Probably Bruiser, just because, like I said, I don't like... I'd much rather have high-leveled creatures at player rank 2 than have a free spell. So I'll go ahead and play Nexus Pilot. I feel like our deck is likely to be a little more aggressive than the Weirwood Patriarch deck, so I'm going to go ahead and play Bruiser in an empty lane. Again, it threatens to trade 5 damage for the 4 of Patriarch, even if Patriarch gets hit first. So yeah, definitely don't like staring down Patriarch, but hopefully we'll be able to handle it. Okay, so this is a mediocre creature, although it trades well. Flamestoke Shaman is honestly pretty similar with that extra ability. Seismic Adept level's okay, but his ability is great. So kind of want to play the Seismic Adept just to have it on the field so it can have its effect, despite it being a slightly less impressive body. I'm not sure if I'm better off playing one of these two or just using Metasight to get them both leveled up. Ouch. That's a pain, although my opponent did not get the trigger to get an additional seedling, so that's nice. Oh no, my opponent did. Okay, I got it. I was not sure how that worked for positive. Okay, because my opponent managed to take out my center lane pilot, I think I'm actually gonna go ahead and throw out a Metasight here. Just because I want to have both of these leveled up, and they're not that great at level 1. So I'll get my Seismic Adept on the board. And I'll go ahead and Metasight Shaman and Technician. Metamind Adept was fine, but I feel like the other two level slightly better. Ouch. This hand is why you really don't want to draft too many spells. We don't necessarily want any of this. I'll probably end up playing Scythian Augmentation just because it's the best of these to have leveled, but it's not, certainly not exciting. Aerial Surge is also fine because it becomes free. However, it feels redundant when we have a Seismic Adept on the board. Generally, the Seismic Adept is going to be able to move enough that we won't necessarily care about the Aerial Surge. Okay, this is fine. I think I'll go ahead and move this Aetherhound in front of the Bruiser. It does not let me get in the damage there. However, it will let the Bruiser take something with it. And I'd rather have Mystic plus Augmentation. Taking this damage from the Patriarch is actually adding up, but there's nothing amazing we can do about it right yet. Okay, I may throw a Zephyr Mage in front of it just to have done with it. So the Mystic is fine here. It's just not... I feel like this is not going great. I'll put it that way. Okay, so probably gonna trade. Oh no, got the Roar. Okay, so we still trade beneficially. However, it'll make the Patriarch more obnoxious to handle. We can trade a Colossus with a Patriarch, which is probably fine. Yep, I think that the Zephyr Mage is maybe less important than the Flamestoke Shaman going with it. Okay, so we've mostly caught up in damage. Bruiser's perfectly reasonable. Adept is okay. I'm fine trading Necro Slime for the other half of my Mystic. Okay, is there anything worth trading Bear Rider with? I could throw Metamind Adept in front of it and just use that to trade. However, I think what I'd rather do is probably play Bruiser in front of it, buffing one of my other two creatures, just so that I can give Metamind Adept haste and get in additional damage. So I think I will go ahead and trade Bruiser, buffing Metamind Adept. Gets in 11 damage, which is nice, and okay, this hand is pretty good. Center lane, Pilot with Augmentation, and either Mystic or Technician is good. Depends on what my opponent plays, of course. Technician can trade pretty well if I need to. Okay, so the Aether Hound picks off one Shaman with some additional value. If my opponent has Weirwood Patriarch here, I'll be in trouble. Okay, that's a pain. Pilot is still definitely worth playing in its own lane. Definitely going to Sipient Augmentation. So the question is, do I want a level 2 Sentry, which is mediocre, in hopes of leveling it to level 3? Should I go for level 4 Mystic just because it's got the highest... level 3 Mystic just because it's got the highest damage potential? Or Vault Tactician because it trades best? I think Mystic is most likely to have the most swing, so I'm going to go ahead and go for it. Both players are actually taking kind of a lot of damage early this game, so there's a very reasonable chance that we can, that us being able to push in an additional 10 damage or something is going to be worth it. These jetpacks are also good for that kind of eventuality. I want to get Sparkblade Assassin leveled up. I'd like to get Stonefist Giant leveled up. So Technosmith and Giant Assassin seems most likely here. I was going to say I don't like that play, but it's obviously fine since the Matriarch was able to pump it. So we cannot put 5 power in front of it. So... jetpacking the Pilot obviously is pretty anti-synergistic. I'm going to go ahead and play the Technosmith just because it's pretty much as good as either of these two, given the current board state. It'll hold off Delver, and then I can probably trade something cruddy with Delver. Okay. Can't quite use the buff of Magma Hound to kill Delver, but that's fine. Rhymehorn Charger's pretty okay given its level, and it would trade with Delver. So that is certainly an option. I can also use the ping of Magma Hound at something else and trade the body with Delver. So that extra 2 damage is value that we'll consider. Almost certainly going to play Seismic Adept. Alright, so that was nice, unless my opponent's got a way to finish off Pilot. I could actually Aerial Surge if I... Yeah, that's going to be very good for me. Okay, so like I said, Magma Hound, the body trades, and we can pick off the Bear Rider. So that was just great. Getting that additional 18 damage feels very good, and Seismic Adept is on the board, which will help us continue to get in damage, although our other 2 bodies aren't amazing. Pilot is very good, of course. Flamesoak Shaman is pretty nice here. The body is, like I said, about as good as Vault Technician. However, being able to give haste to something is very relevant given my opponent's dwindling life total. I've had very little experience playing the aggressive deck. However, certainly seems like the right path for us right here. So I'm going to go ahead and play aggressively. I could move the slime. I feel like my opponent's gonna... Okay. I'm definitely not moving it in front of this adept, so I'm going to go ahead and attack. The question is, I have twice the health my opponent does. Is it worth just keeping as many lanes open as possible? Or do I throw it in front of Nexus Pilot because my opponent won't necessarily be able to play another, there will only be one battle phase next turn, so I may as well eat the Nectar Slime as anything else. I think I'll leave the place in front of Nexus Pilot open for right now, just because it is a very imposing threat, and does put my opponent in a pretty difficult position. Nargath Bruiser is fine. Hound and Adept are actually both pretty good here, so we'll see. Alright, so yeah, this is a good reason to not move Necro Slime, although we would have been able to move the Bear Rider out of the way if we needed. Oh wait, we can still do that. So, we can get in 28 damage here. That's pretty good. Let's go ahead and let's move the Bear Rider, because we can trade anything with that. That gets in our damage. Bruiser will trade and stay alive. Magma Hound comes in, kills this to increase the damage we get out. Increasing it to lethal. I didn't worry about doing the math just because it didn't affect the play. But that ended up being lethal. So we won game one. Interesting playing that game aggressively. I'm still kind of learning how to play aggressively. The reason it's kind of complicated is that not only do you want to just get as much damage in early as you can, you want to evolve things that do very well in player level 2. So it's still something I'm getting a handle on. That one obviously went well this time, though. So I'll be back for game 2.